Hello there, everyone. It's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at a very important Astro-Numerology event. And I say very important because this one truly is remarkable this week. And we look at it from the perspective of rising above and turning to our heart for guidance. So I interpret the codes for you in both the numerology and astrology in order to understand the dynamics, the celestial dynamics that are urging us to move forward and be in a state of acceptance. And in this case, we are going to cover a major event, one of the big events of this decade. You know, the decade started in such a big way with the stellium on January 12th, 2020. And that stellium was, of course, Saturn and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn with the Sun and Mercury, and Saturn and Pluto hadn't been merged in Capricorn in 500 years. So there was a stellium because of the joining of the Sun and Mercury, 4 planets. And it really set up a decade of tremendous change, transformation, momentum, liberation. And so now we have a very powerful event that involves Uranus and Mars. They're going to be conjunct in Taurus along with the North Node, all at 18 degrees Taurus. And this has not happened in around 2,400 years, so before Christ. This is a really big deal. First of all, anything the North Node is involved in means we are focused on being liberated by being not in the past anymore. So we began the decade with that stellium in Capricorn, which is the symbol of the past, and Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, was part of the stellium. And now we're moving on to Taurus, another earth sign, but in this case it involves the North Node, which is the future, and Uranus, which is the future. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house in astrology, which is about groups and your future. And then Mars, which is the forward momentum planet. So we are literally lifting the brake and going down on the accelerator. And that's really the feeling right now, because when these 3 planets come together, there just is an incredible sense of liberation and independence and passion and fire. And of course, it's 2 planets in the North Node, not 3 planets. So intuitive Uranus is merging with instinctual Mars to break through resistance. And resistance is one of the key words here, because the resistance is often what we're not consciously aware of. It's just basically been around, been gathered, amassed inside of us in a way that we weren't aware of, and now we're firing up the engines and needing to move through that resistance in order to lift off, which is the point of this stellium. North Node, future, Mars, move forward quickly, passion, independence, and Uranus, which is all about exploration, the new breakthroughs, right? So we're using our inner navigation system, and that resides here in the heart. Yes, the mind translates, but the origin of the feeling is purely here. So listening closely is very much a must. Uranus aligns with genius, in just ingenious ideas, and that inspiration may disrupt the status quo, because as it inspires you to move forward, you're leaving behind something which tends to be the status quo, what's politically correct, what has been accepted as a habit or a cultural norm. All of those are poof, up in the air. And Mars enthusiastically then acts on what is discovered internally. So Mars conjuncting Uranus creates an electricity. It shatters illusions. And, some of us humans, sometimes in order to escape pain, go to the dream, go to the illusion, instead of just feeling the pain in order to release it and move forward. So this event, which, like I said, hasn't happened in a couple thousand of years, is showing you the true path to set you free. Freedom is one of the key words for Uranus. And freedom is also the word for the Aquarian age that we're moving into. So what are we setting ourselves free from? Well, not trusting. We tend to rely on this to navigate, get answers, analyze in order to decide what we're going to do, or how we are going to approach and feel about a certain situation. And in order to move beyond this and move into the heart, that requires first and foremost a trust in the perfectly divine plan. Well, what does that mean? Well, we need to let go of our need to control, which is the egoic mind. And control can come in mysterious, subtle ways. The need to control can come through wanting to get info, data, which then translates into clarity, which is very much a domain of the mind, getting clear on something as opposed to clearing out, right? Getting clarity because you're clearing out and just feeling in the moment. So one of the things we tend to do when we operate from here is knee-jerk reactions. We hear something or see something that triggers us and we react, as opposed to going into a place of pure love in the heart, where love is the only reality, an uncluttered place, and listening to the response that is for your highest good and everybody else's highest good, because it's all the same thing. What we tend to do is react from here in order to protect ourselves from pain. And when we're cluttered, pure love is more challenging to access because we don't trust that our hearts have the most divinely designed access to freedom, to happiness. We literally are relying on all the data and info we've gathered to help us navigate through any painful situations. Once we move into here and learn to trust, we stop worrying. And worry is one of the really important factors to look at, because when we're talking about setting ourselves free, Mars, Uranus, North Node, to move forward, we are courageous, we are confident, and we're not able to be manipulated because we're operating from this wonderful intrinsic desire to explore and not to be afraid of the consequences, not to be afraid to be judged. So when we see something or experience something that is traumatic, our minds will try to control through all sorts of remedies. But the only way to be present in this moment and free from the urge to control through the mind, whatever pain comes up in the midst of a challenge, is to trust in this inner navigation system which resides in the heart, because the heart has no agenda to control. The heart is your place where you really experience that love is truly blind. I'm sure you've heard that saying, but it is actually true. Love is blind. Love does not justify. Love just is. There's no agenda with love. So really, when you feel the urge to analyze, judge, rectify, take your focus out of your mind and place it into your heart. Just surrender to the heart, because you'll feel your way through the experience as opposed to resisting the experience by virtue of inserting the mind in all its clutter. So this is especially important now because Mars and Uranus in the North Node are not taking no for an answer in terms of moving forward. So if you're resisting that forward momentum, it's not going to feel very good. In fact, it will cause a lot of anxiety, more anxiety. And this is one of the themes of the last 2-3 years, is how we needed to navigate, and of course still do now, even more so now, by letting go of that which creates anxiety. So what creates anxiety? When we forget in the midst of a challenge to ignore the immediate response by the mind to want to control the challenge, we don't feel. We become reactionary. Anxiety is actually an emotion that is created because you are needing to feel something in response to a situation, or just because something is coming up from inside of you. And when we don't go straight to the heart, when that experience is happening, we turn here, and here wants to control, and you can't control it, so anxiety ensues. Anxiety is literally a trapped feeling inside of your heart, and it's trapped because you're resisting feeling it, feeling the pain or feeling the sadness, or not wanting to see that which is going to set you free because you're afraid to move forward. So instead, you get trapped in your mind and become anxious, and it causes all sorts of rushes of nervousness and worry that then build, because it's all building here, right? You're not here. You're trying to figure it out from this perspective. So let's now move to where the stellium is taking place. It's in Taurus, the other earth sign. We have 3, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And Mars, Uranus, and North Node are meeting at 18 degrees in Taurus. We'll get to the 18 in a minute, because it's very important, actually. Of course, Taurus is an earth sign, wants to feel secure, financially secure, at home, security in the home, having food and a bed to sleep on, and in relationships. Venus rules Taurus. Venus is about that pleasure, that joy that comes with the security of just living life on earth. So if you feel anything that is being shaken up in those areas, home, family, relationships, financial, know that it's always for the better, or I should say feel. It's a knowing, which is here. Feel that it's for the better, because your sense of inner safety and security is actually shifting to something much more powerful, which is here. And then we add in the North Node, and the North Node is a compass. It's pointing north. It's pointing to the heavens. It's pointing to the stars. It represents the future, and it represents what you haven't experienced yet and exactly what will elevate you moving forward. So Mars and Uranus being merged with that forward momentum means the blessings are going to magnify tremendously when you flow with that forward momentum. So don't fight the river. Flow with the current. Be current. Be in the current moment. That word is very important. It means 2 things: the flow and to be present. So you're aligning with this new path, and you're aligning with everything that feels destined, because there's so much to take in now that all you can do is it's destined for us to go through this. So a sense of expansion now is also helping you to create an open door, because the North Node feels very Jupiterian. It feels joyful when we join the current. And yes, it can feel nerve-wracking. Uranus and Mars coming together is definitely a stimulating, sometimes shockingly surprising energy. And that's by design, because in the moment of surprise, we literally have to go here, because this won't even operate, right? Because it is not designed to be our navigation system. It's designed to interpret practical ideas in order to live on Earth in 3D, but it is not designed to be our intuitive navigation system. So sometimes we get a jolt in order to restart this process. So what's been old school, what's felt familiar, been there, done that energy, it doesn't motivate. It's designed to help you feel like you are in control and you're learning something, and that's all fine and good, but it's not about change and exploration. Change resides in the heart. So you don't want to swim upstream and resist what is naturally happening. Going against the tide is going to create a lot more drama than you signed up for, because the letting go and the surrender is what is truly destined. And in that place, you will participate wholeheartedly in support of the changes on the planet now. So the only thing that you actually control is your attitude towards the changes in play, the attitude towards what is shifting. And the shift is here. It is taking you from here to here. It is balancing the divine feminine with the sacred masculine. That's why Mars and Uranus are involved with the North Node in Taurus, ruled by Venus. Mars and Venus are the symbols of the feminine and masculine energies. They are combining now. They are coming together. Not only is Venus the ruler of Taurus, bringing much needed divine feminine energy into this equation, but Venus is also creating a triple sextile, which is a 60-degree, very harmonious aspect to Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. Venus is at 17 degrees in Cancer and very close to being exact in terms of the sextile to 18 degrees Taurus. And 17 degrees is the immortality number. So what this means is Venus is bringing a sense of destiny, that the divine feminine is being reintroduced in a very loving, beautiful, pleasurable way into our lives, so that we trust in beauty again. So we trust in love again and move away from needing conflict and wanting to resolve through conflict, through argument, through wanting to be in control, and releasing that and allowing pleasure, beauty, love, and kindness and abundance back into the equation. Because when we feel those frequencies, we don't even resort to wanting to be dominant and wanting to win at all costs. So Venus is adding an extra beautiful, joyful aspect to this incredible 2,400-year event that really needs to be acknowledged. And you can see it in the chart right here. You can see how Venus at 17 degrees in Cancer is forming those 3 blue arrows that I marked in for you to the stellium. So in closing, I wanted to look at the 18 degrees that the North Node, Mars, and Uranus will be at in Taurus. 18 is a number of true unconditional love, wisdom through the heart. It is also a number that symbolizes health, healing, rest, and dreams. So it is a beautiful balance to that very masculine Mars and Uranus energy. It brings the heart into the equation. And just so you know, the shadow side for 18 is to be a martyr. And that is designed here. A martyr is a very paradoxically egoistic thing to be, that frequency of martyrdom. So it's not to give up and be in servitude. It is to be in service to love. So there's just an incredible amount of enthusiasm that you can tap into now. Mars is incredibly enthusiastic about the changes in play. There's a lot of opportunity for you to confront and melt away any resistance and focus on purely what's in front of you and stop looking back or worrying about what's coming, right? So let go of the past, the ghosts that are haunting you, the ghosts of the past, and let go of the crazy programming about that the future is going to be, whatever it is you're imagining. That is over. That is really the paradigm we're leaving. That's the duality, not being present. There is no duality when you are in the current moment. We're leaving behind being constantly rocked back and forth, being stuck in the past or totally in fear about what might happen to us. So just be in this place of the inner explorer where you are embracing right now. You're leaving behind the urge to figure it all out, and you feel this huge, beautiful acceptance because you're trusting in the divine plan. And just remember, you have it all within you. You are designed to be here at this time and participate in this major shift. So you can discover more about how you're designed to help the shift in play in your star code. There's a free masterclass I've created for you at starcodeclass.com, and you can literally see how your Astro-Numerology has created a very special design for you in this lifetime to assist and to partake in the shift in play right now. And you can see how others are designed as well, which releases your judgment of them. So have a wonderful time discovering that free masterclass at starcodeclass.com. Have a beautiful week. Stay in your heart and trust. Lots of love. I'll see you next week.